right. What we got? Another 6 foot with a death wish headshot. Leave his brain scattered all right. Check mix. Clash of Clans. Oh my gosh. What we got? What do we have here? Everybody ready? Ready. Everybody ready? Ready. Begin. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Buckles Locker, 2026 edition. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. Share all the videos. And don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you of all new videos that's posted on this channel. Today's video is the 2026 Bucs free agent class. Solid, but still no game changers. I'm not mad, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta give you the perspective here, right? We gotta put things in perspective. You know, we can't leave out, you know, the reality of the situation. You know, as long as you understand what the Bucs are right now, I don't think these signings will make you upset. I'm not mad at none of those signings. You know, questionable signings, but you know, I'm not mad, but you know, the fact none of these signings changes my outlook for the team, is what I'm saying. If you get where I'm going with this, right? Cool, solid signings. You know, two questionable contracts with the Cade Otton situation and the Riley Dixon situation. The Anzalone, the Gainwell, the Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? Jake Browning, and they re-signed Sean Tucker. Cole Keith came back, but it doesn't really change the outlook of the season. Like, if you ask yourself this question, are the Bucs better than they were last year with these signings? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, are the Bucs better than they were last year with this free agent class? Are there any players in this free agent class for the Bucs that are game changers? Not pieces, you know, not solid pieces. I'm talking about like true difference makers. Now, there has been a lot of guys that's been signed across the NFL, in my opinion, that the Bucs probably should have reached out to and try to get. Some people call Jason Licht a bargain basement shopper. When you look at this class, Anzalone, 31, about to be 32, I think. Muhammad, 30 years old. We'll get into all these individuals, but Cade Otton, not really a top tier upper echelon tight end. Riley Dixon was one of the worst punters. Jake Browning, we saw him with the Bengals. He didn't look good. Cole Keith, blocking tight end, H-back guy. Sean Tucker, another depth piece, which I like him, but you know, you got Gainwell, Tucker, and Bucky Irvin. You got 3 running backs, all 5'9", 5'7", 5'8". So I don't know what to make of that. The running back room, I don't think the running back room is top 15 at all. When you look at the other running back rooms around the NFL, if you can find a way to put the Bucs in the top 15, when I say running back room, I'm talking about RB1, 2, and 3. It's going to be hard to put the Bucs in the top 15 of anything outside of left tackle. GM, coach, quarterback, receiving group. You could probably put the receiving group in the top 15, maybe at 15, maybe 14. Tight end group, not top 15. O-line, I don't think the O-line is top 15. Left tackle top 15 or top 5, but the O-line itself is not top 15. The defense, not top 15. No cornerback in the top 15. The secondary not top 15. The linebacking core not top 15. The D line is not top 15. The edge not top 15. So there's a lot of question marks still, even though he signed some solid players, but it does not move the needle overall, because to me, the Bucs look like they are in the same place as they were last year. If you could just do apples for apples, we can play that game like Muhammad and Hassan Reddick. And I can make a clear argument that Hassan Reddick has been the better player overall for the career. One season does not erase the other 7 or 8. Like Muhammad, he did a great job last year, 11 sacks. And I know some people did some breakdown on him. Some people showing highlights. Highlights only show you the good plays. He played over 300 snaps. Don't show me 10 highlights, or don't show me his 11 sacks in 17 games and skip the other 300 plays. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? He's a pass rush specialist, but I don't want to get into that right away. But overall, I still give it a C, because none of these moves are long-term. None of these moves are young players in pivotal positions. Remember now, I told y'all there are four premium positions, and the Bucs lack 3 of them. No CB1, no QB1, and no edge 1. What I mean by QB1, CB1, and edge 1, I'm talking about elite players. The Bucs do not have an elite cornerback. They don't have an elite edge rusher, and they don't have an elite quarterback. No elite corner, no elite edge, no elite quarterback. Only a left tackle. So 4 premium positions, the Bucs only got 1. They only got 1. And if you want to add the coach and the GM, neither one of them are elite. So in key positions in this organization, the Bucs have 1 elite person. When I mean elite, I'm talking about top 5 at his position. Bowles is not a top 5 coach. Jason Licht is not a top 5 GM. Baker Mayfield is not a top 5 quarterback. Zion McCullough and Benj Morris are nowhere near top 5 at corner. Diaby is not a top 5 edge. The only top 5 player they got on this team at his position is Tristan Wirfs. Remember, 4 premium positions, and if you want to add the coach and GM, that's a separate category, but you can put that in there too. So it's 6. 6 premium positions. The Bucs have only 1 elite person. So when you look at this class, this is pretty much what you're going to get this season. I don't know what to read into the class. I'm not going to do that to those guys. But from what I see, I watch a lot of football. Anzalone's not bad. Can he last 17 games? I doubt it, based on history. He's a late bloomer, and he's after 30. He's really about to be 32. Muhammad, he was drafted in 2017. Never did anything outside of last year at all. So that's to me, that's yellow red flaggish. Like 1 year, you get 11 sacks, and you get to the market, and your best deal is 1 year, $6 million. You know, 1 year, $6 million does not scream teams were really after you like that. The Lions were okay to let him go. Some people think, and we've had guys like this. What the Bucs need is a premium edge rusher. We have not had one. Shaq Barrett had an outlier season, but he was never a premium edge rusher. When I mean by premium, I'm talking about Nick Benito, Aiden Hutchinson, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Nick Bosa. I'm talking about those type of guys. Micah Parsons. I'm talking about premium. We've never had that at all in my entire time covering the Bucs. We haven't had a premium edge rusher drafted. The last time the Bucs drafted a premium edge rusher was when? Right? So when I look at this class, I look at the class it's almost like mirroring what the Bucs really are. Because there were a lot of good players that got signed. I think there was some players that the Bucs probably should have, spending $70 million on contracts for several guys, and none of those guys are game changers. Drafted, not signed from another team. I'm talking about drafted. I'm not talking about the Ndamukong Suh, the JPP, the Shaq Barrett, or the Simeon Rice. I'm talking about drafted a premium edge rusher. What these moves tell me that they're going to double down in the draft. I told y'all this before. I even told y'all this even last year, and I told y'all earlier this year. Whatever the Bucs do on defense, they need to double down on that position in the draft. So you got Anzalone, you go get an LB, inside linebacker, to pair with him. You got Muhammad, you go get edge. You draft the A'Shawn Robinson, you go get a D lineman. You go get 3 guys as rookies in the first 3 rounds, whatever order you want to make this. Linebacker first round, D lineman second round, and edge third round. Or edge first round, linebacker second round, D tackle third round. Whatever order you want to put those positions in, and I'm talking about the defense. I'm not talking about the Cole Keefs and the Sean Tuckers and the Cade Ottons and the Riley Dixon or Jake Browning. Those guys are not game changers. We already know that. Don't care. I already know about Jason. I already know about Cade Otton. I already know about Gainwell. Really good back, but come on, man. Like, I think they got 3 guys almost damn the same. But I'm talking about A'Shawn Robinson, Anzalone, and Muhammad. All 3 guys are 30 plus. They need to double down on those 3 areas. And truth be told, when you draft those 3 areas in the first 3 rounds, you would rather want those guys to start. Now, Anzalone will be on the field, and you can pair him with a young linebacker and Savasi Dennis could be a special team player. But you want to get a young linebacker next to Anzalone. Just like Detroit did it. Detroit did the Jack Campbell, Anzalone. And of course, Jack Campbell ended up being the better player, obviously. Much younger, much bigger, much faster, X, Y, and Z. Cover better, whatever. The Lions let Anzalone walk with no problem. They got Jack Campbell and Khalif Barnes and all. They got guys already. They weren't going to pay Anzalone. He's 31, injury prone. So it was no need for that. They got Jack Campbell, who I wanted the Bucs to draft anyway. But that's another, I want to get off topic here. And then A'Shawn Robinson, he's played for several teams. His best years was when he was with the Rams. Go get a D lineman, young guy, right next to him. Go get a young D lineman right next to A'Shawn Robinson. And you would kind of want that young D lineman to be immediately better than A'Shawn Robinson. A'Shawn Robinson is a depth piece. I saw him in Carolina last year. Solid, right? But he can help out when Vita goes to the sideline, as he usually does, because he can't stay on the field that long. He can replace Vita instead of Greg Gaines. At least he'll be a better run stopper than Greg Gaines. You know what I'm saying? Right? So that's a good solid pickup to back up Vita. Or in some downs, you can play them both, which that'll be, a risk, but, we'll see. Solid pick, right? $10 million. And then Muhammad, small edge rusher, short arms, but he's relentless. Now, he does not have elite physical traits. Like, he don't have extremely long arms like Nick Benito or Will Anderson or Daniil Hunter. He doesn't have elite traits. He's a scrappy, relentless edge rusher. He is a pass rush specialist. Do not ask him to stop the run. That is not his game, which is one of the reasons why Detroit was like, hey, usually when the guy gives you 11 sacks, you bring him back. Detroit was like, we appreciate 11 sacks, but we good. We're going to go younger. Once again, Detroit and other teams, they say, hey, we got a guy that's productive, but we're going to go younger. Or we got somebody young already. And then meanwhile, you got teams like the Bucs will pick up those type of guys that had one good season or a late bloomer and hoping that they can get another year out of them and squeeze another year out of that. The best case scenario in this free agent class for the Bucs when it comes to anybody that's not named Cade Otton, Cade Otton, Riley Dixon, Cole Keith, Sean Tucker, Jake Browning. Anybody not named those, the best case scenario for those like Anzalone, A'Shawn Robinson, and Muhammad, those three guys play above their means. You understand what I'm saying? You, as a fan, should hope that A'Shawn Robinson gives you 5 or 6 sacks out the blue. I doubt it, but you should hope Anzalone plays 17 games, he don't get hurt, and he's very productive. You should hope that Muhammad gives you 11 sacks, even though he has not shown he's that type of guy, but you should hope that. And keep this in mind. Footnote here. If you go back and watch the Lions game, he had 11 sacks. Very good. He would have been the best pass rusher on the Bucs last year. But he also had Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. Let me repeat that. Muhammad had 11 sacks, but his running mate was an all-pro edge rusher. The Bucs don't have that. Let me repeat this one more time. Aiden Hutchinson was getting double and triple teamed. People, sometimes you got to understand the game. Other players' influences can help you get better stats. If you don't believe me, go watch the Detroit games. I did. Aiden Hutchinson helped him out big time. So let's put this in context for the Bucs. In summary, the Bucs don't have an Aiden Hutchinson to do that. The Bucs have nobody on the edge that you can double team and triple team. Nobody. At all. Okay? Yaya Diaby is not even in the same stratosphere or the same universe as Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson got moves galore. Diaby just got power rush, bull rush. So we're going to find out early about what Muhammad is. And I think he's more of a 4 to 7 sack guy than an 11 sack guy. I'm not taking nothing away from him last year. He had a very good season and an outlier season. Go back and look at his history. Matter of fact, go back and watch some of those games he played. He had a couple seasons where he had like 4 or 5 sacks. He's not a double-digit sack guy, especially at 30 years old. All of a sudden, you're going to become this double-digit sack guy at 30 years old consistently. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. Can anybody find me a 30-year-old edge rusher that has never had double-digit sacks, had one season, recent season, and then the next season, all of a sudden, he becomes another double-digit sack guy? Now, I'm sure there are some cases out there. Remember, exceptions don't make the rule. Exceptions don't make the rule. Remember, people clowned. I wasn't a fan of this Hassan Reddick signing last year, but I would say this. Hassan Reddick is a better player than Muhammad. Am I lying? Am I lying? Hassan Reddick is a better player than Muhammad. He's been established multiple seasons with double-digit sacks, right? He's had more of an impact as a player than Muhammad. And we didn't like him last year. So now all of a sudden, Muhammad, which I hope he becomes better than Hassan Reddick, but I think Hassan Reddick last year had what, 5-7 sacks? So you're going to get around about the same production. And Detroit, the Lions defense, Kelvin Shepard, they ran a 4-3. I'm talking about when he was with the Jets and then the Eagles. All right, with the Bucs, he didn't do anything. Let me rephrase that. I'm talking about when he was with the other teams, the Cardinals, the Eagles, and the Jets. I'm not talking about when he was with the Bucs. I'm just talking about the career of Hassan Reddick. There's no argument that it's been better than Muhammad's. More of an impact. And he gave us 2.5 sacks last year. Belay my last. I'm thinking about the career. My bad, not the Bucs. We gave Hassan Reddick $14 million based on what he's done. And we gave Muhammad $6 million, which is a good deal. $6 million is a good deal for a guy like that. A rotational piece. And the reason why I'm focusing on Muhammad, because what do the Bucs need? Edge. Edge. And when you don't have multiple guys on that D-line and edge to help you out and make your sacks easier, then you're not that guy. So I'm not saying Muhammad's going to have a bad season, but I'm probably going to expect around about 4 to 7 sacks. The Lions ran a 4-3. The Lions ran a 4-3. The Bucs ran a 3-4 hybrid. And there were a lot of guys in the free agent class that were available. And so the Bucs spent all this money, but no impact players. That's the concerning part for me. They spent all this money, but no impact players. Like, I'd rather you sign 2 impact players than 7 guys, than 7 Jags. What would you rather have as a fan? Would you rather have 2 impact players on contracts, bigger contracts, or 7 Jags? It's your choice. Like, I will take 2 or 3 guys over 7 in premium positions. And you needed an edge. And all these guys that were out here on the edge that are better than Muhammad, I'm talking about as a player. I'm not talking about one season. I'm talking about just general. And the Bucs said, no, we good. So Jason Licht thought it was a good idea to pay Muhammad $6 million and Alshon Robinson $10 million versus spending $16 million on one guy. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to get y'all to understand what it means. Like, I can go down the list of players that the Bucs didn't even look at them. Because even with these signings, they still need edge and D-line help. And they still need linebacker help. Several linebackers are out there. The Bucs said, nope. Multiple D linemen out there, D tackles out there. The Bucs said, nope. Several edge players out there. The Bucs said, no. This is why I told you I think they'll draft all defense, or at least the first 3 rounds. Like, I think the first 3 rounds, in my opinion, will be defense based on who they signed. None of these guys are long-term. You need rookie guys on 4 or 5-year deals, or second, 3rd round pick on 4-year deals, and then your first round pick on a 4-year, 5th-year option deal. You need 3 guys that can come in and start right away. I personally, that's what I'm hoping for. Because in free agency, the Bucs I wasn't surprised with these moves. I was not surprised with what Jason Licht did. And I'm not even mad at what he did. He's trying, but he's so safe. He'd rather spend $70 million on a punter, a lackluster tight end, a lackluster punter, a backup or a rotational edge guy, a rotational D-line guy, a 1-year starter at linebacker who's injury prone, re-sign Cole Keith, who's basically an H-back, give Cade Otton a $20 million guaranteed, and re-sign Sean Tucker and sign Jake Browning. That's 9 guys, $70 million at a minimum. $70 million in contract value. Now, I'm not talking about guarantee money. I'm just overall contract value. Jason Licht spent about $70 million. I'm not surprised that he went this route. Some people are mad. Some people are happy. Some people are overhyping the signings. But how can you overhype rotational, backup, rotational depth pieces? How can you hype it up? You can't even make a case that these guys are game changers. About $70 million on rotational pieces. That is safe. I think a lot of people want the Bucs to be a little bit more aggressive. Show the fans that you're trying, like the Saints and the Panthers, the Rams, the Eagles, the Ravens. Like, these teams are trying to get guys. They're signing guys that are going to help them big time. I don't know if Anzalone, Muhammad, and Alshon Robinson are, going to help big time. They're depth pieces, solid pieces, but I don't see any big time potential out of those guys. I'm focusing on the defense because I'm not too much worried about the offense right now. The issue with the Bucs is defense. And you go get 3 rotational / semi-starters. Muhammad was not a full-time starter. If you are mad at these signings, you need to look yourself in the mirror. I am not mad at all. These are solid signings, but they still look like a 7-10, 8-9 type team, maybe 9-8 type team, depending on how the ball bounces. 6-7. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still look like a mid-team. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the signings, you be like, okay, I can deal with that, but they still mid. Like, Alshon Robinson was with the Panthers. They went 8-9 last year, and he goes over to a divisional opponent, to the Bucs, pretty much in the same predicament, but at least the Panthers are trending up because they're younger, they're bigger, they're faster, and their trajectory is going up. Like, you can honestly say, and the odds, the betting odds already have the Panthers at as the favorite to win the division, and then the Bucs and Falcons will pretty much kind of fight it out at second place, and the Saints might sneak in there and snatch one of our spots. That's what it's looking like right now, based on right now. Because after free agency, they tend to adjust the odds. And before free agency, the Panthers were favored to win the division, and now the Panthers have made some tremendous moves to bolster their defense that was already kind of solid because their secondary is pretty good. They just needed to get the front seven better, and they did. You can say what you want about Jalen Phillips, and I get it. That was a big contract for a guy that has a high ceiling, and he was with the Eagles. He was with the Dolphins, and you seen it, but he was injuries. But they gave him about $30 million. That is a risk, but that's a risk they're willing to take. Because if it hits, they have the edge guy for a minimum of 3 years. And he's young. He's 27. The Bucs don't have that guy. Because if it hits, the Panthers are good to go. The Panthers are banking on, look, we're going to try. They're telling their fan base, we're going to try to win. So we got to get a premium edge rusher. This guy has it, but can he stay healthy? The contract is questionable, but is it questionable if he produces like his talent says he should produce? I think his rookie season, I think he had like 8.5, 7.5 sacks. So the potential is there. He just got to stay healthy. And the Panthers are banking on that because he's young enough to give him that contract, because by the time he hits 29, 30 years old, the Panthers can move on from him. And I'm pretty sure they got a way out of that contract. It's the way contracts can be configured or structured where you can get out of that contract after a year or two. Remember, I always tell y'all, look at the guarantee money and divide that by 2. Then the Panthers go and sign Devin Lloyd. So you mean to tell me Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd don't make the Panthers defense better? When their secondary already pretty good. Ransom, and they got they got Ransom, Jason Horn, Mike Jack, and they got the other safety. What's the Panthers' other safety? I can't think of the other safety. What's the other safety? What's the Panthers' other safety? Somebody talk to me in the chat. Give me the other, not Ransom. Ransom was the rookie, and he was solid. But what's the other safety that the Panthers got? Yeah, no, it's another guy. But anyway, their secondary is young and they're talented. And I think the Panthers are probably going to draft more defensive guys. I'm talking about the safety. I'm not talking about J.C. Horn and Mac Jack. Their cornerbacks are good. I'm talking about their safeties. The Panthers probably going to get some more defensive help because they drafted 2 edge guys last year, and they're probably going to double down again. Trayvon Moore, yeah, Trevion Moore, Nick Scott, like that's solid safeties. I mean, the secondary overall is better than the Bucs secondary. That's my point I'm making. So they just need to get the front 7 help. They got 2 young pass rushers. They got Jalen Phillips. They got Devin Lloyd. They got Derek Brown. So Derek Brown is definitely going to appreciate Jalen Phillips and those young guys in year 2 for those young guys, and Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd. They're trying to win. Based on what the Bucs did versus what the Panthers did, can you ask yourself the question, who's really trying to win? And this is no hate on the Panthers or the Bucs. This is not none of that. I'm not trying to big up the Panthers. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, based on the moves, who is trying to win now? So let me guess. We got somebody better than Devin Lloyd. Now, let's just start there. That's the same guy a lot of Bucs fans. Look, if the Bucs would have said, we're not going to give Cade Otton a $20 million guarantee, and we're not going to pay Riley Dixon $3 million, we're going to give that money to Devin Lloyd. If the Bucs signed Devin Lloyd, nobody will be tripping. Everybody will be like, we got our middle linebacker. We need a difference maker right there. And the Bucs chose not to aggressively pursue Devin Lloyd. For whatever reason, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, like there were better guys than Anzalone and younger. That's why I'm not tripping. This is typical Jason Licht. This is what he does. I mean, but at least I would say A'Shawn Robinson, Muhammad, and Anzalone, they're dogs. I would say that about those three guys on defense. Muhammad, Anzalone, and Robinson, they're dogs. They got some attitude. All three of those guys got attitude. What the Bucs sorely needed. So I'm glad that he drafted some guys with some attitude. I mean, he signed some guys with some attitude. But we needed a guy that, like Devin Lloyd. We just needed a Devin Lloyd. That's why I say, why pay 8-9 guys $70 million worth in contract value when you could have just spent that same $70 million on 3 guys? Like, divide 3 into 70. It's about, what, $22 million a year? You could have signed 3 guys for $20 million a year, 1-year deals. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. You could give me 3 or 4 impactful guys, then signing 8-9 guys. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Nobody would have complained if the Bucs signed Devin Lloyd. Nobody. Because we'd have been like, hell yeah. That's just me. You know, you could have got Josh Uche, a younger guy than Muhammad, but Muhammad is a $6 million deal, so it's a bargain. It's a bargain. It's bargain basement shopping, hoping that it hits. And if Muhammad hits, can the Bucs afford him? If Muhammad has a really good season and he wants the $20+ million a year, can the Bucs give him $20 million a year? The Bucs could have signed Draymond Jones. The Patriots signed him. 3-year, $39 million. Draymond Jones is better than A'Shawn Robinson, and he can rush the passer. Draymond Jones, D lineman, was right there. The Patriots said, we'll take him. One of the reasons why the Patriots did that because they got Drake May on a rookie deal, which this would help the Bucs tremendously in 2027. I'm thinking a little ahead, but if the Bucs can just move on from Baker and do not pay him, $40+ million, don't pay him at all. Like, I'm just thinking of the future, how this team is currently constructed and the moves they are making now. These are not big time moves. These are not moves that's going to play that are going to win you the games at the elite level. I recommend play this season out. Wherever you finish, you finish. You move on from Bowles and Jason Licht, hypothetically speaking, and you get your young quarterback on a rookie deal, and you can do more with the roster. The Patriots went to the Super Bowl with Drake May in his second season. Like, seriously, I'm just giving y'all what the Bucs have done. This free agent class should give you an idea of where this team is headed. Unless they hit on the first 3 rounds in this draft, unless they get 3 straight premium guys, edge, linebacker. Well, linebacker's not premium position, but you need one. And you got a D tackle on the defense. And those guys come in and ball out. Or one of those guys, in particular, you want the edge guy to come in the ball, which is very hard for an edge guy to ball out in the first year because in the last 20 years, how many rookie edge pass rushers came in and had 10+ sacks? Not many rookies come in and have 10 plus sacks. So if you can get a rookie edge to come in and give you like 6 to 8, that's great. Now you got him on a first round deal, 4 years minimum. And then your second round pick, a linebacker, 4 years. He comes in playing right next to Anzalone, making plays. Third round pick, a D tackle. He comes in. He's a rotational piece at the beginning of the season. Then he becomes a starter in the middle of the season. Now you got 3 rookie starters that you can build your defense around. Because your defensive core unit is not good. They're not game changers. Look, if you look at the Bucs defense, their core players considered, young, right? So you're looking at, think about this. Let me give y'all a core piece of the Bucs defense. Winfield Jr., Zion McCullough, Kalijah Clancy, Yaya Diaby, Jacob Parrish, Benjamin Morris. But if you had to pick a couple guys to build around, who would you build around on the Bucs defense? Who would you give me 3 guys on the Bucs defense that you can legit say we're going to build around him? Like a Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah, I love bringing him up because that's my guy. I like him. Attitude, dog. He toyed with the Bucs a couple years ago in joint practice. Toyed with them. Daniil Hunter or Will Anderson. I'm talking about. Give me 3 guys that you can point at the Bucs defense and be like, we're going to build around him because that dude's going to be a problem. Let me repeat this one more time, Bucs fans. Give me the core defensive pieces for the Bucs. Somebody said in the chat, it's going to take a miracle and everything to line up for the Bucs to win 10 games. Absolutely. It's going to take a hellified football god type situation for the Bucs to win 10 games. Think about that. If you need all this help to win 10 games, what does that tell you? You're not a good team. Once again, I'm going to say this one more time, folks. Give me 3 core pieces that you're going to look at the Bucs defense and say, we're going to build around that. Because I'm pretty sure you could do that to other teams. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can go to other teams and look at 2 or 3 guys on the defense and be like, that's a core piece. You know what I mean by a core piece? I'm talking about a really good player. Like a Cooper Dean DeJong, a Quinton Mitchell. 2 guys that the Bucs could have drafted. The Bucs said, nope. A Cooper Dean DeJong and a Quinton Mitchell, a Jalen Carter, a Jordan Davis. See, core pieces. That's core pieces. A Jared Verse, Brayton Frisk, Brian Young, Kobe Turner. Those are core pieces. You see where I'm going? I mean, all the front guys in the middle, right? The trenches, right? A Quentin Williams, a Byron Murphy, a Will Anderson, Derek Stingley. That's core pieces. I'm talking about when you name somebody from the Bucs, they got to match that type of play. Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah. That type of player. Right? Micah Parsons. Kyle Hamilton. Patrick Surtain Jr. Does anybody on the Bucs look like that? Does anybody on the Bucs look like the players I just named? Derek Brown. Does anybody on the Bucs look like those type of players that you can build around? Come on, folks. This is not hard. This is not hard. It's not hard, folks. Does anybody on the defense look like the guys I just named? So when I see what Jason Licht did in free agency, I can only say, cool. The Bucs did not want to sign Draymond Jones for whatever reason. It's weird. It's weird. They don't like the trade picks to go get guys. Jermaine Johnson, Javonte Sweat. I'm just looking at these guys here. I'm just looking at some of the D linemen that the Bucs said, "Now we got a Trey Henderson. They didn't want to pay the money for that, and he's old, right? Aboye Mafe. You could have got Jonathan Allen as a depth piece. You know what I'm saying? A proven guy. I'm going down the list here. A Quincy Williams at linebacker, 2-year, $13 million. So we gave Anzalone $17 million. Just saying, folks. I'm just saying, folks. I'm just going down the list here when it comes to D linemen. Logan Hall signed with the Texans, by the way. I think watch Logan Hall be good at the Texans. Watch, because he got dogs around him. Do not be surprised Logan Hall all of a sudden become good because he got Daniil Hunter and freaking Will Anderson, guys that can get to the quarterback on the edge. It's going to make his life much easier when he could not do that with the Bucs because the Bucs don't have no dogs. They got a bunch of kitty cats. Random guys. They got too many randoms. Dominique Robinson. The Bucs said, nope, we don't want to sign him. Watch Logan Hall be better. Watch. Because now he's with D'Amico Ryans and the defensive coordinator, forgot his name, the white guy. Matt Burke, I think his name is. Watch Logan Hall be better. Watch he get coached up to be a better player. It's all about what your system tells you to do. Maybe the Bucs system was not made for him. Well, obviously it wasn't. Now, Arden Key, the Bucs said nope. A Derek Nada, the Bucs said nope. I'm naming all D linemen, folks. All these D linemen. They didn't want to trade for Jermaine Johnson, or Jacob Martin, or Jordan Elliott, or John Franklin Myers, Solomon Thomas. These are guys that are a lot better than A'Shawn Robinson, and they're younger. The Bucs said nope. It's weird, man. It's weird how Jason Licht functions, man. Kwity Paye, Malcolm Kuntz, N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker. I'm naming so many guys. Tier Tart, Dalvin Tomlinson. Just going on the list here, folks. I do this. I told you I can get you. Rashad Gary, 4th round pick to get that guy. Tremaine Edmonds, a linebacker. Arnold Ebabukai, whatever his name is, the linebacker. Tariq Woodland, 1-year deal. That definitely helped the Bucs secondary. Well, anyway, that's outside the point here. Kavion Chason, Owe, Odofe, can't pronounce the name. Odofe Owe, Dietrich Wise, Tim Settle. All these guys are better than A'Shawn Robinson. It's just me. Nelvin Gilmore. You could have got linebacker. Devin Bush. DeMarco Jackson. Linebackers. Christian Easy and signed with the Lions, by the way. Javon Hargraves. He's a little older, but he's better than A'Shawn Robinson. Let's see. Deshaun Hand. Cam Thomas, Jalen Phillips, Devin Lloyd, Isaiah Simmons, Caden Ellis, It was a lot of D linemen out there. The Bucs said, nope, we good. L.J. Collier, Roy Lopez, Adigizue, a third round pick for Adigizue. I can't pronounce his name. The Cowboys D tackle, third round pick. Dre Greenlaw, re-signed with the Niners, but he's injury prone. He's better than Anzalone though. But yeah, I literally just named over 20 D linemen, edge rushers, and I threw in some linebackers. I named about almost 10 linebackers. And Jason Licht didn't even get none of those guys. The guys that I named, in my opinion, are better than A'Shawn Robinson. And most of those guys are younger. Some of those linebackers I named, they're better than Anzalone, and they're younger. They're faster. Edge D-line linebacker, I named over 20 combined guys, and Jason Licht couldn't get one of those. He got Muhammad, A'Shawn Robinson, and Anzalone. And I don't think none of those linebackers, I don't think Anzalone is better than none of those linebackers I named. I don't think A'Shawn Robinson is better than none of those D linemen. He's probably better than some of them, but he's not better than a lot of those guys because he's over 30 or damn near 30 or over 30. He's an old 30 or 30-something years old. Muhammad is not better than some of those edge rushers. Somebody goes, well, he had 11 sacks. Well, what did he do from 2017 to 2024? Just saying, man. Just saying, dog. The 49ers trying to go for it. The Rams going for it. The Eagles going. Like, we never do these moves. The Patriots going. They trying to maintain. Like, the Colts gave up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. They trying. First down. The Bucs signed Jake Browner, Kenneth Gainwell, Cole Keith, Cade Otton, Alaquan Muhammad, A'Shawn Robinson, Isaac Anzalone, and Miles Killebrew. Miles Killebrew, I think he played for New Mexico or New Mexico State or one of those Mountain West teams. Or he came from somewhere on the West Coast. But Miles Killebrew? Special teams? Can I say special teams? Jake Browning, Kenneth Gainwell, Cole Keith, Cade Otton, Alaquan Muhammad, A'Shawn Robinson, Alex Anzalone, and Miles Killebrew. 8 guys, $70 million in contract value. $70 million. I'm not talking about the guarantee money. I'm talking about contract value. $70 million on 8 guys. None of them are game changers. Is this defense going to be better with Anzalone and Robinson and Muhammad? Maybe. But they won't move the needle where you want the needle to go. This team will not have an elite defense until they get elite players. And those 3 guys have never been elite. So all of a sudden, they're going to be elite after 30. And you know what happens to linebackers after 30? If you're not elite? Anzalone has never been elite. Muhammad has never been elite. And A'Shawn Robinson has never been elite. And all of a sudden, they sign with the Bucs, they get elite. None of those guys are going to move the needle to 10 wins. The Bucs are still in the same predicament they were in last year. They overachieved in 2024 because of the OC. In spite of Todd Bowles. In spite of a poor roster that was poorly built by Jason Licht. 8 guys. Give me 3 really good guys, then 8 guys. Give me 4 above average guys versus 8 guys. Those guys that Jason Licht signed, name me one of those guys that's going to make like this major difference. Or that's going to be a true upgrade. I bet you Levante David probably is the same as Anzalone right now. Logan Hall, Ashawn Robinson, 6'7". You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, hold up. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. Muhammad and Hassan Reddick. It was so bad last year, they signed JPP. It was so bad last year, they signed JPP to play in our face. They literally played in our face. They wanted that. They wanted fans to come back, so they signed JPP. What did JPP do when he got back? And I remember when it was announced, oh, we got JPP back. He's going to, get in there. He didn't do nothing. They brought JPP back. Y'all remember that? It was a big deal. Oh, JPP is going to help out. Well, where did he help out at? You seen him on the field? That boy looked like he had a turtle shell on his back. Jason Licht said, let me go get JPP back on this team to help with the edge rush. And he got out there, and it was like, what? He looked like he need to be at a desk somewhere. That dude looked like he had a turtle shell. The game looked so fast. Like he was in quicksand out there. Had no moves, nothing. It was so bad. And they signed Shaq Barrett. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing instead of trading for a guy? You signed Shaq Barrett and JPP? Did y'all see JPP out there? Oh my goodness, a turtle shell on his back. He looked like an old snapping turtle out there. Like, it's like in his brain, I'm gonna really get down like that. But his body was like, sir, why are you out here? Them legs couldn't do anything. I mean, I'm talking about turtle shell on the back. It was awful to watch. It was cringeworthy. He had to double back on 2 guys that were completely washed. Where is Shaq Barrett right now? Muhammad is very eerie similar to Shaq Barrett. That was so embarrassing as a fan base. If you was a Bucs fan, you jumped up and down for that, you ought to be stoned. I'm going to say this one more time. Jason Licht brought JPP back into the fold. I'm like, you mean to tell me the pass rush that bad, you had to go back and get JPP? And then before that, he did the Shaq Barrett situation. And Shaq Barrett was cooked. JPP looked like a retired player out there. A turtle shell. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Heroes in the half shell. Turtle power out there. Y'all remember the song Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? And I'm not joking on Shaq. I'm not joking on JPP like that. Yeah, he's good. Good. He's gonna be a Hall of Fame guy. Hopefully he's Hall of Fame. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power. Embarrassing, and people cheer for that. Shame on you Bucs fans that cheered for that mess. What did he do when he was in there? Embarrassing. That's the stuff that makes me look at Jason Licht like, dude, you can't even draft edge rushers. He can't draft edge rushers. Why can't he draft edge rushers? Why can't he, matter of fact, why can't he draft pass rushers? JPP played one game and was like, hey man. The locker room was fractured. They brought him back and then they put him on the field. They was like, nah, fam. And JPP was like, yeah, I'm here for the locker room, get the guys running, but put me out there, coach. And they put him out there. Can't draft the edge to save his life, but people think he a great GM because 75% of his draft picks he hit. What's the definition of hit? Like, let me ask y'all this question. What do you mean? What is the definition of hitting on a draft pick? Because I think that's been overblown. They think hitting on a draft pick is Jason Licht picking you and you playing for the Bucs and you get a second contract, or you leave the Bucs and you go from sugar honey iced tea. Jason Licht has been a very safe GM, and people think that is great. That lets me know how you live life. You cool with that type of lifestyle. You don't take no risk. The only way you're going to become rich if you take risk. You don't take risk of being safe. You don't become a really good team being safe. When Jason Licht got aggressive and took risk, we got a Super Bowl out of that. And then the following season, another playoff run that went 13-4, and we were pretty much one game away. Being safe keeps you in a box. In terms of money, being safe keeps you in a box. I'm going to consistently make $50 a month by just doing this. If you just do this, take the risk and go from making $50 a month to making $200 or $500 a month, if you take the risk, which is why the Eagles, the Rams, the Ravens, these teams are always in contention. And the one time Jason Licht took a risk, I even thought when he took that risk in 2020, I thought he was going to double down and keep taking risks moving forward because the results showed. Taking a risk, because if it works, it works. But sitting back and playing it safe and going 7-10 and 8-9 and 9-8, you're just a middling team that is not bad enough to get a really good player, and you're not good enough to make a real run. I told y'all this, and I'm going to say it again. Jason Licht, the combo of Jason Licht, Todd Bowles, and Baker Mayfield has run its course. That combination has run its course. I'm sorry, Baker Bros. I'm sorry, Jason. Well, I'm not sorry, but not sorry to Jason Licht fanboys and defenders. And to you Baker bros, man, maybe if he was with Liam Cohen or McVay or something like that, he'll be better. But Baker will never become the quarterback with Todd Bowles at head coach. And he will never get where he needs to go with this type of GM. This type of GM and coach combination will keep Baker Mayfield as a mid at best quarterback. If you put Baker Mayfield with a better coach, a better GM with a better roster, they're going to make something happen. Because the one thing I'll say about Baker Mayfield, he got dog in him. He don't like to lose, and he will fight till the end. We ain't got many dogs like Baker Mayfield on that team. Like, physically, he has limitations. But his mentality, look, I don't think he's an elite quarterback. But I'm going to tell you like this. Whatever you want to call it, moxie or whatever that is, swag, he got it. He got that part to the T. Everything else is mid at best. Too many batted balls, too many boneheaded turnovers, and bad situations. But he can be productive, but it's going to be limited because of Todd Bowles and Jason Licht. That roster is not good for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield will never be good with Todd Bowles as his head coach. He will be a mid quarterback at best. Start out, he's going to front run all the first downs and all that. Then the reality sets in as we saw last year. Yep. And even this first year, reality going to always set in for Baker Mayfield. He tries hard. I don't feel sorry. I said sorry, but I'm not sorry. I don't like saying sorry because I'm not sorry. I'm telling the truth. And Baker Bros, look, you can come at me all you want to. Well, Baker Mayfield is really like that. Sure. Whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you say. But before you get to Baker Mayfield, you got to start with Jason Licht and Todd Bowles. And then on the flip side, with the free agent class, you lost Mike Evans, you lost Logan Hall, you lost Christian Izien, you lost Rashad White. You lost Jamel Dean, obviously. You know, he went to the Steelers. But very concerning comments from the outgoing guys. Mike Evans and Rashad White made some comments about the Bucs and their fan base that should open up everybody's eyes and ears. Hey, Becky. See, you're missing context. Hold on, Becky. I'm not putting you on blast. Tell the whole story, Becky. You're not telling the whole story. See, when I see comments like this, I always say, are you just trying to take out a piece of what you want to believe? Do you really believe that? That's the reason why this won the Super Bowl? Like, do you think, look, Sam Darnold was a part of a winning team. He was not the reason why they got to the Super Bowl. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl because of the defense, first and foremost. They won the Super Bowl because of Kenneth Walker was the best player on the field. They did not win the Super Bowl because of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was told, don't mess it up. They didn't even trust Sam Darnold in certain situations. He threw a lot of picks in the regular season. Of course he did. And the media brushed that under the rug because I told y'all this. If the media likes a quarterback, Darnold, Daniel Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray. They're going to cap for those guys every chance they get. Come on, Becky, wake up. Sam Darnold had way more interceptions in the regular season than Baker, and he won the Super Bowl. Of course he did. Did you watch the game? Did you watch the Seahawks defense? They stacked over there. They just told Sam Darnold, look, we're going to keep it easy for you. Clint Kubiak was like, hey, man, our defense is going to win this. Come on, Becky, wake up. She's trying to make it seem like, well, Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl, and he threw interceptions, and then Baker throws interceptions, but he can't win a Super Bowl. That's a bad argument. That's not a good argument in faith. That's not a good faith argument, Becky. The contract that Sam Darnold got fits him. He's not a $50 million quarterback. Even Daniel Jones got paid, and he's not a $50 million quarterback. And come on, Becky. This is not an apples-to-apples situation. Well, Darnold threw a lot of picks and won a Super Bowl, and Baker did a lot of picks. So that doesn't – what are you trying to say, Becky? It's okay to throw a lot of picks. You can still win the Super Bowl if you have a defense to overcome that. The reason why those interceptions got erased because of the Seahawks defense was really like that. Baker can't throw 17 interceptions, 15 interceptions, and the Bucs still win the Super Bowl. That can't happen with Baker Mayfield, with this roster and this defense, with this head coach, with this damn GM. Anyway, back to Mike Evans and Rachaad White. Very concerning comments. One guy is a fan favorite, will be in the Bucs Ring of Honor. One of the all-time great Bucs players in Mike Evans. And Rachaad White, who is not a fan favorite. They basically said the same thing in different words. Rachaad White said, oh, a lot of fans be talking this and that, but at the games, other fan bases be taking over the bowl, and we don't like to see that as players. He's speaking for a lot of other players on that team. I'll get to Mike Evans in a second. But Rachaad White was like, your fan base ain't really like that. He spoke on what a lot of other Bucs players see. He just, being that he's not coming back to the Bucs, he was like, I'm going to tell it how it is. I'm going to keep it 100. And to be honest with you, I've been to games. I don't know about you guys, but I've been to games. He's not lying. He's not lying. The Bucs fan base, and it's not a personal shot, because I'm included. We're not a good fan base when it comes to home games. And I'm included. I wish I can go to all 8 home games, but I can't. About 5 hours away now. But I'll go to more this year, but I'm part of that fan base. And it's not a good fan base. It's a bottom 5 fan base when it comes to home games. They got an F for fan experience. Oh, Becky, it's all good, Becky. No, Becky, this was not a personal shot at you. I get where you're going with that. I just had to clarify for the people in the chat, because some people will take that comment that you made and say, well, Baker can throw interceptions. That means we can win. Let me make that clear, Becky. You don't have to apologize. What you said is what you said. I just clarified and I just added context to what you said, because the angle was, well, Darnold threw a lot of picks and they won Super Bowl. Yes, if you would have added, Darnold threw a lot of picks, Baker did too, Darnold won the Super Bowl, but the defense was lights out. Now, that would have been good. But you left out that part, Becky. That's all I'm saying. I know, Becky. It's cool, Becky. It's cool. Shout out to Becky, though. Shout out to Becky. Shout out to Becky in the chat. She good. I just had to add some context to that comment, Becky. That's all. Because some people will roll with that and think like, well, Baker is not yeah, we can deal with Baker interceptions. We don't have the defense for that. But Rachaad White kept it 100. And I've been telling y'all this, even as a fan going to the games that don't even live in Tampa, and I try to make it to games in Tampa, it's like, damn. It's all good, Becky. You good. You good with me. We good. We here. Okay, Becky? We here. Yeah, right. Yeah, Baker throws those ill-advised picks and turnovers in the fourth quarter. I get it, Becky. We all seen it. But we don't have the defense to overcome that. I mean, 2024, 41 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 10-7, get beat by the Commanders at home. What does that tell you? With his turnovers. The Detroit turnover. You know what I'm saying? In the playoffs. Like, we don't have the type of team to do that. But back to Rachaad White. Rachaad White, shout out to Rachaad White from giving us the fans from a player's perspective. How he look at the Bucs fans. I think look, this is a flash in the pan for him. He like, I'm gone. I ain't coming back anyway. He's never coming back to Tampa. He's a West Coast guy anyway. He's back with one of his close friends. He went to the Commanders with Jaden Daniel. Becky, this is how we get down in the locker room. I want you to keep making comments. Those comments are needed to open people's eyes up about our team. But this is what we do in the locker room, Becky. We do this type of interaction. You know, it's all love, though. We're not those other platforms. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Becky. I hope to see you again. Good interaction, though. You know? Good interaction. Good call out. Now that I understand where you were going with that comment. Good call out. Good comment. I just added context behind that. But Rachaad White, he will never come back to the Bucs. And it is what it is. And I've been saying this for a long time about our fan base. Not good. I think bottom 5, bottom 10 fan base. And some people might be like, oh, Buckles, like, are you tripping? Yeah, I can say that because I actually go to games. I've been covering the Bucs without any media influence or insider information by myself. I don't have a reporting team. I don't go to all the training camps and try to get players to come on my channel to talk. And I don't do that for this. I don't do that. I don't do this for that. I covered the Bucs based on reality. A lot of those major platforms, Becky, they don't cover the Bucs the right way. They cover the Bucs from a political standpoint. They never keep it real. But the fan base can now see from a player's perspective how he views, as a former Buc player, how he viewed the fan base. The fan base is cooked. Swiss cheese. And then Mike Evans said he wanted a new challenge. He wanted to go to a team that can compete. He went to Levi Stadium. Every time he went there, the fans was basically electric, and the fans was really like that. And I don't see the other fan base there. That's a low-key shot at the Bucs organization. He could have came back. He could have came back. Oh, Becky from the Spring. Becky, where you from? What part of Tampa are you from? Becky, you from Tampa? Sound like you might, because you got a little bite. You got a little bark in your bite. Bite in your bark in your bite. Where you from, Becky? You from Tampa? Where you from? She said, I ain't going nowhere. I like that, though. I like the attitude. But Mike Evans took a shot at the organization, Jason Licht, Todd Bowles, and Baker Mayfield, and the fan base. Are you from Cleveland? What part of Cleveland? That's the question. What part of Cleveland you from? Because you got a little dog in you. You know, Cleveland is a very industrial city. A lot of hardworking people in Cleveland. A lot of hardworking people in Cleveland. A Midwest city, very industrial, blue collar city, blue collar driven. Oh, Loren? Oh, you out? Oh, you out there? Okay. Okay, you out there. But yeah. Okay. Shout out to Becky. Cleveland in the building. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland in the building. Tough city. Tough city, man. Tough city. Cold as hell by the lake. Very windy, cold as hell, not too far from Buffalo, in Toronto, and that's my thing. But welcome, Becky. Welcome. You always welcome here. Don't let nobody mess with you in that chat. Hold your ground. The people will test you out in that chat, Becky. Hold it down. Don't let nobody scare you off. But anyway, Mike Evans kept it 100. Leroy Kelly, okay, cool. Tough player, very tough player. Leroy Kelly, hard-nosed player, the big shoulder pads. I believe his number was what, 44? I believe Leroy Kelly. It was a Leroy Horde I'm thinking about, but anyway, Mike Evans, he wanted a different challenge. He wanted a different challenge, and the Bucs were not it. That tells you when an all-time great leave on his terms. That has never happened in Bucs history. If I'm not mistaken, anybody that's been an all-time great for the Bucs released them, let them go, but nobody has left and not, like nobody, like Warren Sapp, he went to the Raiders, John Lynch, and all that stuff like that. But I think Mike Evans is the first one. I think Mike Evans was the first Bucs all-time great to be like, I'm straight. I'm good. Yeah, I thought it was number 44. Leroy Kelly, number 44. Big old shoulder pads. I remember him. I remember him as a kid when I used to watch football on Sundays. The Browns were always this grimy team with Belichick and Nick Saban as a DC. Funny, right? Belichick and Nick Saban on the coaching staff. And the Browns always had these tough coaches. Hard-nosed coaches. They never had like soft coach. Kevin Stefanski was the softest coach that I think they've ever had. Well, Mike Evans said, I'm out. This ain't it. He didn't want to spend his last couple of years middling around. I think Mike Evans is the first one to do what he did. Like as far as like upper echelon Bucs players. Very, 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 very concerning comments from Mike Evans, though. Very concerning. It was very strange for him to basically tell the truth. I don't say it's not strange to tell the truth, but it's just how he said it. Like he did it the political way. He bounced for less money. He said, I'm done. Why would he come back and play with this roster? Him going to the 49ers, and you seen what they did. Matter of fact, let me tell you what they did in free agency. Since we're going to play that game. They got Mike Evans went over there. They're going to get Fred Warner back, Nick Bosa back, Mikael Williams back. They got Drake Greenlaw. They got Idigi Azua. Like, they got McCaffrey. They got Pearsall. They got Kyle Shanahan. They got John Lynch. Like, that is a major upgrade of a jump that Mike Evans did. And they're going to be in contention. They won 13 games in a really hard division. Can you imagine the Bucs played in that division? What the record would be? Can you imagine the Bucs playing in the NFC West? The Bucs could have brought Mike Evans back, but Mike Evans didn't want to come back. All that money they spent on these Jags, they could have brought Mike Evans back. But if the Bucs played in the NFC West, the Bucs wouldn't even win 6-7 games. I'm not mad at Mike Evans. I'm not mad at him at all. He did what he thought was best for them. He went to a much harder division. They had 3 teams with 12 or more wins. Meanwhile, we're struggling in a division when 8 wins is the best. There's a song by Janet Jackson. I believe the song went something like, "What have you done for me lately?" The Bucs went 6-2, finished 8-9. But we beat the Seahawks, the Super Bowl champions. We sure did. But we were home. It's never going to be good enough for the Bucs until they make the dramatic changes. Remember, always tell the whole story. Never tell a piece of the story. That's one thing about me. If I miss something, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe the season is 17 games, not 1. Because if you was to do a poll with the NFL fan base across all fan base, just do a poll and say, put the Bucs in that division. Where do you think they'll finish? I'm gonna take a guess. Fans across the NFL fan base will probably say the Bucs will probably finish 4th in the division. Matter of fact, we can get 10,000 votes and put a poll up. Put the Bucs in the NFC West. Do they win 12 games? But it's about, see, the whataboutisms. The whataboutisms. And despite the fact that we wouldn't last in that division for 17 games, but there's always context behind certain things. We beat those teams, but are we better than those teams? That's the question. Ask yourself that question as a Bucs fan. Matter of fact, ask yourself that question as a football fan. Matter of fact, ask yourself that question right now. How many teams are better than the Bucs in the NFC? Just NFC. We're not even going to talk about AFC. After the moves that's been made in free agency, where do you put the Bucs at in the NFC? Where do you put the Bucs at in the NFC after these moves? Because remember, I always do this. After every major event, free agency, draft, I always reassess where the Bucs sit at. So we got Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, Vikings, Bears, Packers, Lions, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, Bucs, Saints, Panthers, Falcons. Like, where do the Bucs sit at? Are the Bucs top 8 or they're bottom 8? Because see, 8 is in the middle. There's 16 teams. 16 teams in the NFC. Are the Bucs 8 or they're 12? After these moves, what have you done for me lately? Ooh. What do you put the Bucs at now? Because if you put the Bucs over 8, that means you believe these changes will put them in the top 7, which means the playoffs. Where do you put the Bucs at? Are they 8? Because I can't put them past, like for me, I can't put them past 8. To be honest with you, based on what they did in free agency, I just don't see how can you put them past 8. I mean, how can you, not past, but how can you put them in front of 8? If you got them at 8, state your reason. Because now you're basically saying they're a borderline playoff team. Based on what has transpired with this team. I'm talking about keeping Todd Bowles, overhauling the staff, signing 8 players that are not game changers. And now they're 7th best team in the NFC or the NFC. Once again, folks, stay with me. There are 16 teams in the NFC. After the Bucs made these free agent moves, where do you put the Bucs? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Eight, 9, 10, 11, to 12. Somewhere up in there. But I don't want to put them at 8. Because if you put them at 7, 7 is a playoff team. I got the Bucs between 9 and 11. Like as far as like ranking them like right now based on the current status of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like the current status of the Bucs is probably the 9th, 10th, or 11th best team in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? The Bucs are they're in a weird spot, man. Like it's not. Look, the Bucs are not terrible. They're not they're not in true rebuild mode because they still think that they like Jason, like I'm paraphrasing. We just got to get healthy. We got to get better. Da, 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 da. So he believes that if the Bucs are healthy, the Bucs become this magical great team. I mean, we don't even have the horses to compete at the highest level. Like Jason Licht believes that this team is better than what the record says. He probably thinks this team is a 13 win team. He thinks this team is 2020, 2021. That's what I think Jason Licht. The reason, if you look at the moves, he thinks the team just needs to get healthy in another draft class. Despite the fact that it has not worked. Building to the draft has not worked for Jason Licht since 2021. The 2021 draft class, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Because if that's the case, after that 13-win season, the Bucs should have been able to maintain at least 10 wins moving forward. But we didn't. He believes we just got to get healthy. I'm going to add him to the draft class. And that's going to get fans all hyped up because Jason Licht he's a drafting type GM. He's a beast mode GM when it comes to draft picks. And you can't tell me one guy on that team outside of Tristan Wirfs that you can be like, you can go to bat for against other guys. Tristan Wirfs is the only guy on that team that you can go to bat for against any right tackle or left tackle. Anybody else on that team, you're going to have a hard time making the case for as a top player at their position. You're going to get laughed at. You're going to get laughed at if you run into a chat saying, Yaya Diaby is really like that. Diaby not even in the top 20 pass rusher. You're going to get laughed at. Vita is really like that. He's a D tackle. He's not a D tackle. He's a nose tackle. So you can't even put him with the D tackles. Winfield Jr. is really like that. You're going to get laughed at. Not even top 5, not even top 10 safety now. Barely, maybe. Well, Baker's really like that. What? You're going to get laughed at. So once again, Todd Bowles is really like that. 36-36 overall record, including the playoffs. 35-33 as regular season record. Well, Jason Licht is really like that. 94-102 is a record as a GM. Jason Licht is a really good GM. Well, I don't recall good GMs having an under 500 record as a GM. Does anybody know a good GM under 500 as a GM? Like, he's really a good GM, but his overall record leading the team and putting the roster together is under 500, but he's still a great GM. How can you even fix your mouth to say that? I've seen some of the other Bucs platforms. I'm not going to mention their names, but he's a great GM. What? What? If you look at the Bucs currently constructed, they're not a bad team, but they're not a great team. They're not a contending team. They are literally just there. They're not going to be noticed. They'll be noticed. Like, if you look at the last couple seasons, which is good by the Bucs, they start out good, but then they flame out. Why is that? Coaching. Todd Bowles. How can you start out good for the last couple of years, and then right towards the middle of the season, you have a losing streak? That's coaching. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people wanted Todd Bowles gone. Even this season, going into the games and there's going to be a lot of people at these games booing Todd Bowles. They're going to be rooting for him to lose because they want him gone. And Todd Bowles is in a bad situation. A lot of people are going to be rooting against Todd Bowles, and that's unfortunate. Yep. And that's like, as a coach, you don't want to be coaching a team where you're basically in the hot seat. Like, Todd Bowles is like, when they do the rankings before the season start, he's going to be in the hot seat. If he have Todd Bowles better not have a 2 or 3 game losing streak. He can't even have a losing streak. Like, even Jason, like, there is no more, like, the mediocre stuff is over with. Just saying. Like, another mediocre season, they're both done. And there's going to be a ton of people with their picket signs up saying Todd Bowles got to go. Every loss that the Bucs have, they're going to be like, firing Todd Bowles. What's when the Bucs win a game, Todd will say, "I'll see you Wednesday." Yeah, that's Todd Bowles celebration. Yeah. And then they're going to be asking Todd Bowles, what happened when they lost? Communication issues, guys not in the right plays. The defense has been simplified. It's going to be the same post game press conference after loss because the Bucs will lose games this season. Yeah. See y'all Wednesday. What? Watch every loss this season. Todd Bowles is going to give you the same damn thing. Yeah. See y'all Wednesday. What? We just gotta make the plays. We gotta limit the turnovers and get the ball back in the second half and go down and score. Sir, you're down 30-13. Hey, yeah. We're gonna see the same stoic face out on the sideline, no enthusiasm, no kind of like, I'm gonna get on my guys. He's gonna sit there, his look. It's a simple defense. The defense has been simplified. Then why guys still got communication issues? You got to coach it better. Yeah. What kind of crap is that? I'm like, oh man. I'm telling y'all, I'm trying to get y'all mentally prepared for another Todd Bowles season. 90% of the fan base want him gone. Is there anybody in the chat believes he should stay with the Bucs? How about we start there? Is there anybody in the chat believes Todd Bowles is the guy for the Bucs? Todd Bowles went out of character last year, dropping a multiple F-bombs. Everybody was in that press conference. I'm pretty sure everybody in that press conference was like, get a load of this guy. Did what? Get a load of this guy. This guy. Like, F this, F that, F this. And everybody's like, that's not you. Don't all of a sudden try to get crunk on people. What did Shannon Sharp say about Todd Bowles last night? What did Shannon Sharp say about the Bucs? Because if he's saying the players got to win their one-on-one, well, then you got to get better players. You fired damn near your entire coaching staff. And then if Shannon Sharp saying the players are not winning their one-on-one, that means your player's not good enough. Sandoval, 813. What did he say? The players not winning their one-on-ones. But whose fault is that? Who put the roster together? Everybody was like, get a load of this guy. He's over here cussing. And then the next week, you're still a bad team. I wish I was at that conference. I sure would have did. I sure would have did my the meme with Tom and Jerry, right? The mouse, right? Jerry, right? Get a load of this guy. This guy. Talking about F this and F that. And people think he's a good coach. What's so funny about the situation of Todd Bowles in this Let me ask y'all this question. How big of an influence did Todd Bowles have with these signings and free agents? What do you think his role played in signing Anzalone and Alshon Robinson and Alaquan Muhammad and Miles Killebrew? Like, what you think? The lasting memory of Mike Evans as a Buccaneer was third and 28. Third and freaking 28. Oh my gosh. That team imploded in the locker room. That team imploded in front of our eyes. And they tried to cover it up by bringing JPP in. This is what happens when you put a safe GM with a coach, a conservative coach. If Todd Bowles had a Howie Roseman, an aggressive GM, it's different. But Jason Licht is safe. Todd Bowles is conservative. That is a recipe for disaster. Third and 28. That is Mike Evans' last words with the Bucs that I remember. I was at the game. For those of you that don't go to games, I was at that game. Third and 28. The Falcons had, 17 penalties. And they still won the game? And Todd Bowles kept his job? Like, that is crazy. Falcons had 18 penalties. And they still won the game. Set the record since 2016. The record was held by the Raiders. Third and 28. That's all you heard. Then you have Vita argue with Hassan Reddick and his effort. Go back and watch Hassan Reddick on that play too. Go back and watch the last two plays. Go back and watch the third and 28 and go back and watch the fact. I'm going to watch it right now. Go back and watch Hassan Reddick. I'm about to show y'all right now. Go back and watch Hassan Reddick. It was awful. And Todd Bowles kept his job. Unbelievable. Do y'all want me to play the Mike Evans clip? Do y'all want me to play the Mike Evans clip? I can play out what Mike Evans said if y'all want to hear it. For those of you that didn't hear it, do y'all want me to play that? Do y'all want me to play the Mike Evans clip? I don't care about getting that weird stuff they be doing on YouTube. I don't care about that. They be trying to oh, you can't do that. Like, whatever. You can't play that. Shut up. Y'all want me to play it? Okay, I'll play it. Let me find the Mike Evans clip. Third and 28. Mike Evans said he was the missing piece. I'm trying to find the video or the voice what he said. I'm going to play it for y'all. Vita was yelling at Hassan Reddick. He was like, "You could have got the sack, bro." I'm going to play out this Mike Evans clip. Make sure I can find it. My tablet going slow. I'm playing on my phone. Phone a little bit faster than my tablet. I don't know why my tablet tripping. I'm going to play it. Let me find it. I'm playing on my phone.
You may not want to hear some of the things. To make them a focal point of their passing game.
All right, let me. I'm trying to find the clip, a better clip. I don't want to hear other people talk. I'm trying to find it, folks. I guess I'm going to use one of these Bucs channels, huh? Let me see.
And I got to make this move because I'm not going for time. If you could just.
I'm trying to. It's kind of hard to find it by itself. I might have to read it to y'all, but it's kind of hard to find this video by itself because everybody's clipped it and put it on their channel. You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta search for it and find it. That way you don't have it. You know, I don't want y'all to hear a bunch of stuff that you don't need to hear. It's gonna be hard to find. Yeah, Todd Bowles is wild for that. He felt like they were one piece away. So if the 49ers are one piece away, then what are the Bucs? How many pieces of the Bucs? How many pieces of the Bucs away from the Super Bowl?
Let's start there with Mike Evans now being a target. Mike Evans now being a target for Brock Purdy.
I'm trying to find. Oh man. I'm going to find it, folks. I'm going to find the right one.
He's also walking into a situation with the
All right, I guess I'm going to do it like this. All right, let me figure this out.
You mean? I think he still would have left. Chris Asian also leaving. And Jamel Dean, they're back 40-60. And the 30 history of the San Francisco 49ers going to be the team.
I can't find it right now. Let me see. Let me go on X. Oh, meanwhile, yeah, the Bucs love the Bucs love paying their players. That is one thing we do know. They like the Jason Licht don't like to pay players outside of the draft.
They always compete, even with the injuries last year. I think they went 13-4.
This was the right landing spot.
A team that always compete, even with the injuries last year. I think they went 13-4. I mean, I feel like they were one piece away, and I think that I'm that piece. And I look forward to coming here and improving that.
In my
You're a guy who could have.
Listen,
the right landing spot.
A team that always compete, even with the injuries last year. I think they went 13-4. I mean, I feel like they were one piece away, and I think that I'm that piece. And I look forward to coming here and improving that.
This was the right landing spot.
I'm just saying.
I say it a lot, but this might be the best receiver room I've been a part of. I say it every year, but we always get great players coming in. So
I'm just saying, folks. That's what he said. That's what he said, folks. Can you blame him? That's what he said. One piece away. He the missing piece. But I can read y'all the statement from Mike Evans Foundation, the Mike Evans Family Foundation. I'm gonna read y'all his farewell. From day one, from the day I arrived in Tampa, you embraced me and made this city feel like home. We shared incredible moments together, unforgettable wins, tough challenges, and the honor of bringing a Super Bowl championship to this great community. Those memories and the love you showed me will stay with me forever. Although my journey has taken me to a new team and a new chapter in San Francisco, please know this. I will always be a Buck at heart. Texas A&M and Tampa helped shape me into the player I am and the man I am today. And I will forever be grateful for the unwavering support you gave me and my family. I'm excited for what's ahead and the opportunity to start fresh. But I truly hope you will continue to follow my journey and root for me from afar. The bond we built will always mean the world to me. Thank you for everything, Tampa. Forever grateful, Mike Evans.
Francisco. 2 years ago, almost to the day, Evans signed a new contract with the team, and we all thought he was here to stay.
it's been well known that I've wanted to be, a Buck for my whole career. It's very rare to stay with one team your entirety of your career, and that's something that was a goal of mine.
Then he had one of the greatest moments in Raymond James Stadium history, extending his 1,000-yard receiving streak to 11 years. This is what he had to say after the win that day.
I probably was never going to leave Tampa anyway. So, I mean, it just, the business part kind of took over a little bit, but I'm happy to be here, and I definitely made the right decision.
That quote was at the beginning of 2025. So what happened in 14 months? How did the greatest offensive player in franchise history, a man who, according to his agent, was aggressively pursued and presented a very strong offer by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, land elsewhere? Well, a lot happened. First, the Buccaneers watched Liam Cohen take a head coaching gig in Jacksonville. He immediately flipped a 4-13 team into a 13-4 squad. Mike saw his 1,000-yard season streak snapped, which was injury-related, but his ability to surpass Jerry Rice in the record books was now officially over. Even when Mike was on the field, he was not properly utilized, which is a byproduct of hiring an offensive coordinator who Todd Bowles said a couple of weeks ago is probably 2 or 3 years away from being an OC.
Hold on. So Todd Bowles hired an offensive coordinator that he said recently that he's about 2 or 3 years away from being an OC. Let that sink in, folks. I repeat, Todd Bowles hired an offensive coordinator that he believes is 2 or 3 years away from being an OC. So why the hell did you hire him? Y'all get what I'm saying? Why the hell did you hire a guy that was a quarterback coach as your OC? Can anybody answer that question? He's 2 or 3 years away from being an OC, but you hired him anyway to be your OC.
Top of that, the Buccaneers lost 7 of their final 9 games. In the middle of that collapse, Mike returns on Thursday Night Football, balls out just to watch his team implode around him. He is left screaming, 3rd and 28, walking off the field. And when the season is over and the team fails to make the playoffs in what is viewed as the worst division in the league, the organization decides to keep its head coach, his career 500 record with the club, and cast off the unqualified OC and some assistant coaches as scapegoats. Mike Evans' agent, Derek Gilmore, said this via a statement today, quote, "At this stage of his career, Mike's goals remain the same as they have always been, to compete for another Super Bowl, to play in an offensive system that challenges defenses, and to be in an environment where he can continue to push himself and contribute at the highest level." All of a sudden, that goal of playing his career in one spot isn't on the list anymore. And the fact is, goals can shift, people evolve, situations change. But that is quite the statement. Mike Evans thinks going to the NFC West, which is viewed as the hardest division in the league, as a better Super Bowl opportunity than Tampa Bay. That's the message Mike just sent to the Glazers all the way down. I don't have confidence in the short-term future of this entire mechanism, and I believe better is elsewhere. It is incredibly rare to see a superstar caliber player who has been with a franchise 10 plus years and was drafted by them turn down the organization when they are actively pursuing him and not in a rebuilding situation and not about money. When we look back in Tampa Bay's history, I don't think it's ever happened. The Rays traded Evan Longoria. The Bolts nudged Steven Stamkos out the door. Vinny LeCavalier was a buyout. The Bucs didn't offer Warren Sapp a contract. John Lynch was shown the door. The team made those decisions, not the player. And in the case of like Carl Crawford, it was a money thing. This was not a money thing. We know that thanks to Derek Gilmore, but also from the Glazer family, who said this in a statement. Our goal was always to ensure that Mike would play his entire career as a Buccaneer. But as we got further in the process, it became clear he was looking for a new challenge. And you want to know the sad part about all this? A lot of Bucs fans out there understand the decision. Typically in these scenarios, the player can be painted as the villain. Not here, not Mike. This is a huge look in the mirror moment for the Buccaneers organization. Who do you think you are, and are you doing the right things daily to realistically win a Lombardi trophy? With Mike Evans walking out that door, not only does he pursue a new challenge, but he leaves a challenge for his former organization. Only one can make the Super Bowl now. Who's it going to be? Mike thinks the odds are in his favor.
Yep.
After 12 years in Tampa Bay, Mike Evans is leaving.
He basically broke it down. He broke it down. He broke it down on what happened with the Bucs. He went to a better team. Third and 28. And the Bucs offered him the contract. They offered him. They tried to get Mike Evans to come back. They tried. Mike Evans was looking for contenders, got teams with a good quarterback. He did not want to stay with the Bucs. After this season, he was done. He was like, why would I stay here? And I can go to a better team. He was looking for that tells you a lot. He was looking for contenders. That he basically said the Bucs are not contenders. I told y'all this. Probably offered him a better contract, and he said, I still want out. He still wanted to get up out of here. I'm watching the Bucs and Falcons game right now. Baker Mayfield want to run around, think he really like that. Just throw the ball, man. Every time I watch these games again, I'll be like, damn, man. He wanted to go to a contender, and the Bucs are not a contender. The Bucs have no wide receiver number one. The Bucs have the Bucs have a lot of redundancy at receiver. Tez, Emeka, J-Mac, very redundant. They're not true number ones. They're not boundary receivers. J-Mac came back that game. I thought he was going to go hard that game too. It's amazing to see how this works out. Yep. Watching the Falcons and Bucs game right now. Watching the game right now brings back a nightmare. Mike Evans wanted to go to a contender, and he basically told the fan base, the Bucs are not a contender. He said, Mike Evans said, I quote, first off, I did my research. I did my research on a lot of teams that I was looking at. I was looking at contenders, guys with good quarterbacks, obviously. So I was looking at here, Buffalo, teams that needed a receiver one. He was looking at teams with good quarterbacks and the contenders, and the Bucs have neither. Like, let that sink in, folks. Like Evan said this. Mike Evans said this. 49ers was number one on his list. I talked to John. I talked to Cal, and that solidified it for me. He called the decision a no-brainer. The 49ers always compete. That's what he said. And this was a shot, I told y'all, this was a shot at Baker too. Bowles, Baker, and Jason Licht. He took a shot at all three of them the political way. 49ers always compete, meaning the Bucs don't compete. That's coaching. Contender, that means your roster's good. Jason Licht, the Bucs roster, not contenders. And I'm looking for teams with good quarterbacks. You could have just stayed with the Bucs if that's the case, right? It's crazy how this works, folks. His final three games as a Bucs player, 31 yards, 31 yards, 34 yards. "31 yards, 31 yards, 34 yards." Baker was absolutely terrible the last half of the season. I see it, Matthew. Not Matt, I'm gonna put it up there, Matt. Weeks 9 through 17, he was not good. Because if you're a great quarterback, that doesn't happen to you like that. You got to be able to carry the team, right? Mike Evans, I told you after the Falcons game, he was checked out. After that Falcons game, he was checked out. Caden Ellis gave the Bucs hell that game. And he went back to the Saints. Money was not his biggest decision. $42 million, 3-year deal, $42 million. It can get up to 60. A 3-year deal, $42 million? It's like $14 million a year. Is it me or Winfield Jr. is slow as hell? That deal is incentive based. The Mike Evans deal with the 49ers, it's incentive based. Yeah, I'm watching the game, man. Winfield Jr., bruh. God, he just not explosive at safety anymore, man. What happened to him? The 49ers gave Evans $16 million guaranteed. The Bucs gave Cade Otton $20 million guaranteed. Looking for a contender with a good quarterback. What does that mean about Baker? Looking for a team with a good quarterback and a contender? I don't understand that. Looking for a good quarterback and a contender. Then what the hell Baker was and what the Bucs is? See, the reason why the Bucs are not good starts with Jason Licht, then Todd Bowles, then Baker Mayfield. As much as praise we give him, he also got to take some blame too. Okay, we can't say, we just can't paint the picture and say, well, if the Bucs do good, it's Baker. But when the Bucs look bad, it's not Baker. It's not. No. Come on now. But y'all know how I am. It starts at the top. I start with Jason Licht, Todd Bowles, then Baker Mayfield. Because we can't say he this and he that and he this and that, all the good side. Because if you only tell one side of the story, you know what that tells me? You're pushing a narrative. Now, if you tell the whole story says Baker is not a bad quarterback, but he's not elite. That's the whole story. The whole story says he's a solid quarterback at best. I think also Evans didn't like Baker throwing that high ball, almost broke his neck trying to catch that freaking ball, that high ball that Baker threw. And Kobe Bryant, the undrafted free agent rookie, undercutting him and damn near put Mike Evans in the hospital. Almost broke his neck. Cade Ellis, he was giving Baker a hell that game. I almost broke Mike Evans' neck. I just saw the play. I almost broke his neck. He missed a lot of open players too. He missed a lot of open throws. Winfield Jr. is not fast. Cade Ellis was giving Baker hell. I'm watching the game again. He giving Baker so many problems in the middle of that field. Like Baker don't know what to do with Cade Ellis. And then Izzy can't guard Kyle Pitts. For whatever reason, they had a 5'7" cornerback guarding a 6'5" freaking tight end. Damn, we got some small players in that secondary, man. And particularly nickel and safety. Why are we so small there? Levante David was supposed to be covering Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts scored another touchdown. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, I'm watching the game again. Look at Levante David. Oh, my gosh, man. Diaby can't get to the quarterback. Like, no pass rush. Like, it is so crazy to watch this game again. This is Cade Ellis again. God, Lee, man. This is Cade Ellis guy. Baker has having problems with him. Like, every time he try to throw the ball, like, God dang, man. Look at Cade Ellis again. Why couldn't he deal with Cade Ellis, man? Oh, Baker Mayfield, man. Come on, dog. Like, as much as praise we give him, man, when you watch some of these games, you be like, dude, you got to overcome that. Overcome the flaws of the team, man. Cade Ellis again. Like, I don't know, man. Baker, at this point, Baker, he is who he is at this point. Like, look, it's nothing. Like, he's not terrible, but he's not a. You don't want to build your franchise around him. That's a dangerous thing. They rushed one guy. Cade Ellis again. Oh my gosh, Baker didn't know what to do. The Falcons rushed one player, and Baker said, "Screw it." He dirted the ball. He dirted the ball. The Falcons rushed one player, and they dropped 10. Baker had no idea what to do. He dirted the ball. Come on, man. I'm watching this game, folks. Hashtag, what does your eyes tell you? I'm watching the game again, folks. Look, Baker is a risky quarterback, but you definitely don't want to be like, yeah, we're going to build our team around him at 31 years old. Like, nah. Like, I think the Bucs will be better off a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract. They can build the roster out with a rookie quarterback with a rookie contract. A rookie contract as a quarterback with a rookie contract, I believe the Bucs can get a lot better quickly. But it's hard to do that when you're trying to contemplate on paying Baker Mayfield. Like, because I think the Bucs are really, like, I think they're literally contemplating that. But I think they're going to let the season play out, because if it goes bad, then it, some re-signing Baker makes no sense. You can't re-sign Baker now, because I think, in my opinion, I think the Glazers probably was like, we're going to hold off on that. You can't pay Baker right now. This is not the right time to be paying your quarterback, because you're not a contender. And I know a lot of Baker bros going to be upset about that, but it's just the business. When your business is not doing good, it's not producing, you have to be careful how you spend money. You have to be very, 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 very careful how you spend money. So I get why Baker didn't get the extension yet. I get it. I totally get it. I totally get why he has not got the extension. You can't pay him. You cannot pay him right now with a coach on a hot seat and a GM. Because if you pay Baker Mayfield and the Bucs are not good, that contract is going to be awful, like Chris Godwin's. The team is not good around him, so you can't pay him. Because the Bucs like paying their players, which is fine, but you're not paying high-level players. You're paying for average play. You're paying average guys. You're paying Chris Godwin number one receiver money. He's not a number one. That's a bad contract. I mean, it's one of the most worst contracts, along with Winfield Jr. in the NFL. Like, to be honest with you, Winfield Jr. is a easier trade piece than Chris Godwin. It's going to be a hard sell to trade Chris Godwin. Emeka Egbuka got to get better in separating. I'm a little concerned. I hope he can separate down the road. Evans had a hell of a game and didn't do nothing after that game. Buka got to learn how to separate better. He got to catch the ball and separate a lot better, man, because, golly, bro, this dude, he's good, but, man, I'm just concerned, man. It's almost like a Chris Godwin clone. He's more of a Chris Godwin right now, but he can make the jump next year. But right now, he's more of a Chris Godwin because Chris Godwin ran a faster 40 time. And he plays like Chris Godwin, like his route running, his speed, and you know what I'm saying? Look at Cade Ellis again. Baker had an issue with Cade Ellis, man. I don't know what. Cade Ellis, man, he had an issue with him. And the thing about it, Chris Godwin's going to be the number one. Chris Godwin is going to be the number one based on his pay. Cade Ellis was giving Baker issues that game. Oh my gosh. Like every time I turn around, it's a blitz, it's a fake blitz. It's like Baker was like, is he coming? He's gonna like, come on, man. Chris Godwin is a receiver screen merchant, a bubble, a tunnel screen merchant. I'm just concerned about Godwin being your number one. He's just not it. At this stage of his career, he's not number one, man. Why did the Bucs pay Cade Otton $20 million guarantee when you got Devin Cope? That money could have went somewhere else. He said we're stocked up at 4 or 5 speed at receiver 1 and 2. Look, we have a burner in J Mac, but J Mac is not a boundary receiver. J Mac is more of a short field, inside the boundary hash guy because it's speed with more space. Because you want those guys to have space to run. You just can't line up J Mac at the boundary because he'll be limited. You want those guys to have space to run. Jamel Dean dropped the pick. They had Robinson and Kyle Pitts. No Drake London. They still won the game. I hope Emeka becomes a receiver 1, not Godwin, to be honest with you. David Steele dropped the touchdown. Freaking Winfield Jr. out of position again. I don't know, man. The Bucs are in a bad situation. Yeah, the Bucs don't got a Mike Evans now. That's gonna be tough for the Bucs, man. Baker without Mike Evans is gonna be tough because you don't have to really double anybody on the Bucs receiving core. You can single up Godwin with a number 2 or number 3 receiver. You can put your number 1 cornerback on Emeka Egbuka. You know, so it's gonna be man. There is nobody that you got to double on the Bucs at the receiving spot. It's gonna be strange with the receiving core, man. I think the receiving core good, but we don't have the guy. Baker's gonna throw the ball, but he don't have that Mike Evans. We look at Caden Ellis again. Why was Caden Ellis in Baker Mayfield's face all night long? Like, what is he doing? Caden Ellis was just like in the vicinity every time. It was annoying. Tez need to step up. J Mac need to step up. Look, I like the receiving core, but they don't have the guy. They don't have a true number 1. And that's my concern. I think, like I said, I don't think none of those players are bad. They're just not a dominant receiver. We don't have a dominant receiver that you have to double team. I just hope that I just hope that it works out. But just right now, you know what I'm saying? He just got to get better. And I said this last season, you know, Emeka Egbuka, he needs to have a huge jump. Look at Caden Ellis again. Caden Ellis again. God dang. Emeka's going to have a 1,400 yard season. He's going to have to. He's going to have a monster season. No 900 yard, 1,000 yard season. We need a monster season. Yeah, definitely. Emeka is going to have. I think Emeka is going to have to be the number 1 guy. He has no choice. He has to be the number 1 guy. He has no choice. There is no excuse. He had a really good rookie season. Don't get me wrong. But he had a bad stretch, and then Baker lost confidence in Emeka Egbuka. That's what I also think. That's what hurt Baker too. He lost a lot of confidence in Emeka Egbuka. That chemistry was not there, and that's not Baker's fault. Just Emeka Egbuka had this weird stretch of like 6 games, dropping balls, inconsistent, you know. And Baker was leaning on him at the beginning of the season because the combination's there. But Baker just lost trust in him, and the chemistry was not there. But I don't trust Chris. I don't trust Chris Godwin. I just don't. I don't trust his production and the contract. Did y'all know last season Chris and Mike Godwin was paid a ton of money and they barely produced 600 yards and 600 yards and 5 tutties between the two. Let me repeat that. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans barely, I think it was like 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. And they made a ton of money last year. We got absolutely nothing from them overall for 17 games. I know they were hurt, but I'm just saying that's a lot of money in 2 older receivers, and the production was not there. Even when Godwin came back, it still wasn't there. They had Braswell guarding Kyle Pitts. A lot of money with no production, and Godwin came back healthy and didn't do anything. Evans came back, and he was supposed to be healthy, but remember, there was a point where there was Godwin, Evans, J-Mac, and Emeka Egbuka on the field, and Tez. And Sterling Shepard got basically healthy scratched. And you had those weapons out there, and the offense still looked weird. I'm watching the game right now, folks. 9 minutes and 37 seconds left. 28-21 or 28-20. 9 minutes and 37 seconds left. 28-20. That's a lot of money that Godwin made for 300 yards, man. Like 200 yards, something like that. It was like, damn, that's a lot of money. And the sucky part about Godwin's contract, the Bucs can't just outright cut him without it being a big cap hit. Godwin will be a major cap hit if they keep him or cut him. And they can't. Nine minutes left, 28-20. The Bucs in control of the game. And here's the thing about Emeka Egbuka. Really good player, but he got to learn how to separate. Cade Otton again. Is there a way that we can move up a Godwin contract? Interception, D. Alfred. Oh, my gosh. 8 minutes and 22 seconds left. Interception, D. Alfred by Baker Mayfield. He did not see him. And that was a blitz by Jeff Ulbrich. But they played zone behind that blitz. And they dropped D. Alfred to the flat. Oh, that was a tricky defensive disguise. Shout out to Jeff Ulbrich. That was a very good design. And it was tendencies. They knew Baker was going to do that. They knew Baker was going to do it. Pitts and B. John Robinson literally beat us. They beat us with 2 players offensively. Insane. That pick was bad. That was a very tricky defensive disguise by Jeff Ulbrich. I mean, they fooled the hell out of Baker. And Baker was so trigger happy, he thought he had Evans open. If he just would have just looked over there like focused, like don't get so trigger happy. Like that's like a rookie mistake. Like in those moments, you can't do that. You know, you can't have that mistake. You just can't have that mistake in the moment like that. You're a veteran quarterback, and you just can't, and it's a must-win game. You just can't do that. I mean, he was so hungry. The Bucs defense is Swiss cheese, man. Golly, man. And then here's the thing about the Bucs defense. Despite Baker throwing an interception, the Bucs defense couldn't stop nothing. So, yeah, okay, Baker threw the pick, but the Bucs defense, come on, man. Come on. 28-20, 5 minutes and 35 minutes left. And then the fumble by Mooney, and we didn't get that ball back. Oh my God. It was this game was like made for the Bucs to lose. Swiss cheese, man. The Bucs defense is Swiss cheese. How did the Bucs not get that fumble? (28-20), 4 minutes and 18 seconds left. How did the Bucs lose this game is wild beyond me, man. Oh, I saw Anthony Richards could go to the Bucs. If the Bucs, I will tell you this much, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. If Anthony Richards, if the Bucs trade for him a top 5 pick, that's the future. Like seriously. Top 5. I mean, he's young, he's raw, and they sign him. I'm gonna be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember, Anthony Richardson has a lot of boom and bust qualities. Like, he's a boom or a bust. But if he booms, you can move on from Baker. What would they give up for Richardson, though? 5th round pick, maybe? 6th round? 3 minutes and 29 seconds left. 28-26. Close the deal. Close the deal. That's all you got to do. Close it. Close the deal. You win the game, you win the playoffs. How can we get rid of Godwin, man? I hate to say it like that, but I don't like that contract. We got to get rid of him, man. And we got, so they restructured Luke Gedeke and they restructured Zion McCullough's contract. Oh, Baker missed Emeka Egbuka, man. That was game time right there. Oh, sack. The Falcons defense really turned up in this game in the crunch time moments, and the Bucs defense didn't. Got to get away from Chris Godwin contract, man. Got to find a way. Find a way. Have somebody pay some of that contract, man. That contract is terrible. Jesus Christ. But I think Winfield Jr. is a trade candidate, like big time. I think he's absolutely a trade candidate. They can really get something for him. And because they got Tyke Smith, you know, they got Parrish, you know, they can get younger at safety and more cheaper. Like, oh my gosh, man. Bucs defense just like the Falcons defense stepped up, but the Bucs defense didn't. And Kendrick Villamore, he was terrible. He's like Thunderbird. He's like the fumble by Hassan Reddick, and he didn't get that fumble from Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins fell right on the damn ball. Damn. I mean, 3rd and 28, bruh. 1 minute and 24 seconds left. 3rd and 28. I mean, 2nd and 28. I'm sorry. 2nd and 28. 2nd and 28. 1 minute and 20. 3rd and 28. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. 3rd and 28. 3rd and 28. Kendrick Vilmore. Jesus. Vilmore. Like, 4th and 14, bruh. 4th and 14. Vilmore again, man. Oh my gosh, man. The Bucs supposed to win. They're supposed to win this game, bro. It is painful to watch this game again, man. The Bucs defense, look, forget Baker turnovers, man. The Bucs defense was Swiss cheese, man. All sides on Vita, man, make the field goal kick a lot easier. It's like, man, this was the game. This was the turning point for Todd Bowles and that staff. Because it was locker room issues already. They, like, to be honest with you, Todd Bowles should have been fired. He should have been fired. We lost the game 29-28. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. I'm looking at Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick at the end of the game, man. What was he doing? Get to the quarterback, fam. 3rd and 28. Get to the quarterback, boy. He just did. Oh my gosh. What was he doing? Hassan Reddick, what are you doing? Oh my. 4th and 14. He's not rushing the quarterback. Why y'all still arguing about Baker Mayfield in that comment section? Jesus Christ, man. Give it up, man. Baker's here. He's the quarterback for 2026. The Bucs didn't give him an extension for a reason. It's not a good situation for the team or Baker to get an extension. Like, come on, man. I'm watching Hassan Reddick, man. Are you serious, bro? These folks in the chat argued about Baker Mayfield production. Look, Baker is not terrible. I told y'all this. Why y'all arguing that? But you can't give him an extension right now. It's not a good look for the team. The team are not a contender. So why would you fork out a $45, $50 million contract when you are not a team that is a contention? You're not a quarterback away. You're not a quarterback away from being a contender. You have to accept Baker for what he is right now with the contract. It fits what the team is. It's not a bad contract. What it's like, what, $30 million? You know what I'm saying? And I know some people are like, well, why he ain't got an extension? You think you're gonna extend Baker now with this team in flux, with a coach on the hot seat? That's not fair for Baker, and that's not fair for the Bucs. You can't do that. You can't give Baker an extension. That is way too much money. You got Godwin contract, you got Luke Gedeke contract, you got Tristan Wirfs contract, you got Winfield Jr. contract, and Jason Licht, he likes to extend his guys. Jason Licht likes to pay draft picks, not other guys. The only guy he did that to was Tom Brady. Tom Brady got paid by Jason Licht, but if you look around, okay, Shaq Barrett did get paid, right? but for the most part, he signs his guy. So Baker getting an extension, it's not going to happen right away. Like, I don't think it's going to happen this year because you don't know what the team is going to be. Baker is a $30 million quarterback, middle of the pack. He'll win you some games. He'll win you some games, but he's not taking you to the Super Bowl unless you have an elite defense. And the Bucs don't have that, so it goes against what Baker is. The Bucs roster don't even fit him. Let me repeat that. The Bucs roster don't even fit Baker. It's not built correctly. It's not built correctly. It's not built like the Cleveland roster when it had Chubb and Kareem Hunt and 3 Pro Bowl linemen and a really good defense. And Baker had what, 3,500 yards that season? Won a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not built like that. It's not built from the inside out. They don't have a prime Nick Chubb and a prime Kareem Hunt. They don't have 3 Pro Bowl, 2 All-Pro linemen and 2 other good linemen. You know, they don't have a solid defense, a solid coach. They don't have that. Look, I get it. Everything can't be perfect for Baker. I get that. Can't be perfect. But golly, build the roster up better than this, man. The roster's just not good. Despite the signings of the depth. They got grit, they got tougher, but that's not going to help. Like, the bigger picture, man. If the Bucs sign Anthony Richardson, what does that mean for Baker's future? If the Bucs trade for Anthony Richardson, what does that mean for Baker? Because clearly you see something there. Look, if Jason Licht did his job, the Bucs will still be fine if he drafted better. That Falcons loss was bad, man. People don't realize how bad that loss was. Todd Bowles should have been fired, man. Todd Bowles should have been fired, and Jason Licht should be on the hot seat. That was a terrible loss. They beat us with B. John Robinson and Kyle Pitts and a bunch of penalties. Terrible loss. Terrible loss. Even the Buffalo game, that was a joke. The Panthers game was a joke. Like, god dang, man. Like, both Panthers games was like the Bucs barely won that game. The last game of the season, 16-14. Like, god dang. I don't know where the Bucs go from here, but it ain't looking good. But what does that mean for Baker if they sign Anthony Richardson? Might mean something. I don't know. But if Jason Licht drafted better, the Bucs wouldn't be in this situation. But hey, he's a great GM, and everybody sucks. And then people try to, defend Todd Bowles, but the division's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're hanging your hat on that. That means you're just reaching for straws now. We want a division. Yeah, the division's not good. Come on. Like, how desperate can you be as a fan? Like, if you want your team to be like contenders, then you would want to see better from your team. And the fact that we're not seeing better from the Bucs should tell you everything about the team. You can believe what you want to believe, but the results are the results. It's a bad division. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows this division is bad. Everybody knows it. You win your division under 500 twice. So in 2022, 8-9, 2023, 9-8, 2024, 10-7, and then an 8-9 season. Todd Bowles is 35-33 in regular season and 1-3 in the playoffs. Where the hell do you think you're going with this Todd Bowles team? The Bucs should have won a few games. The beautiful thing about me on this platform, I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't never push a narrative to try to make a player look good and it's all good with him and nothing bad, or make a GM sound like he's the world beater and he's the best GM in the nation and the team is really stacked. And I never talk like that. Have you ever heard Buccaneers push a narrative and say it's just one player that's good? As far as the reason why we're winning. It's not the head coach fault. It's not the GM. It's the one play. Like, I never talk like that. I talk about everything on this team: special teams, trenches, O-line, D-line, linebacker. I talk about everything. What separates me from those other guys and those other channels, they talk about one piece of the team and they make a deal out of it. I covered in these 3 hours. I covered everything. I cover everything, and it's irrefutable facts. Some of it is opinionated, but I do give a lot of facts too. I give a lot of facts. In the Bucs, as a team, you can focus on one player all you want to, but that does not change the outcome of the team. Let me repeat that before I leave. My last thoughts on this. Say what you want about the team. I mean, say what you want about a player. Let me make this clear. I don't have a player favorite. I'm favoring a player. Say what you want about whatever player you like. But guess what? No one player trumps the team. And when you look at the Bucs team as a team, what does your eyes tell you? I don't care less about how much you like a player, or you're a Baker bro, or you're a Jason Light defender, or you're a hater, or Baker hater, or whatever. I don't give a damn what you are. But the team is not good. I can care less about how you feel, hate, or like a player. It does not change the outcome of what you've seen. It starts at the top. The Bucs overall, even after these signings, they look the same. But hey, let's focus on one player. So unwise. You should be better than that, Bucs fans. Focusing on one player does not change the outcome of the team. The team is not good. We got several holes, and we got temporary replacements in the freaking free agent class. Anyway, shouts out to all the Power Seamans. My time is up. 3 hours on a Friday night. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bucs free agency, man. It is what it is, man. Still look the same to me. Fire those cannons. Seize the day, raise the flag. Hashtag game changer. Did we get one? No. Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag what does your eyes tell you? Hashtag what is this? Hashtag what are we doing? Hashtag why? Hashtag don't get mad at me. I don't make these signings. I didn't put the roster together, so don't get mad at me. Buck was like a signing out. Leave your other hashtags in the comment section. We're going to start a new hashtag tags. So I'll catch y'all maybe another day, maybe this week. I don't know. I'll see y'all soon. Signing out.